Meow, 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 meow. Everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Meow, meow. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. This is the monthly chart of MicroStrategy. What is it doing? I'm going to keep it as short as possible. What it is doing right now is back testing the previous cycle high right here. That's exactly what it's doing. I'm going to put up another indicator here, which is the Bollinger Band. You can see the Bollinger Band continues to expand up and down, and is eventually going to keep expanding up to allow the price to go up a lot higher. I think it's going to go up higher, most likely because the 20-month moving average is just pointing up very, very, very strongly, and this has only been going on for about 6 months. So I think that we might be at the beginning to mid-cycle of what MicroStrategy is capable of doing, and it is simply doing this one thing. Price got way above the monthly upper Bollinger Band, and it's just basically back testing. The upper Bollinger Band quite often can serve as a little bit of a magnet. Right now, the upper Bollinger Band is how much? $1,259. Kind of like how we closed today. Weren't it? Like it was pretty close to it today. It served as a magnet to drag price back down, back to earth, while waiting for the Bollinger Band to continue to expand, allowing price to go up higher. I've mentioned this for many weeks now because the previous month has just gotten way far above the Bollinger Band. Conceivably, you're going to end up having a month to bring it back down on Earth. This happened already before, just like 4 or 5 months ago. December went way above. Actually, had a pretty important resistance zone there, got rejected. Went way above the upper Bollinger Band, got back on Earth, back inside the Bollinger Band. Went way too far above the previous high here, back testing the previous high, and also the confluence of having an upper Bollinger Band right around the same level. Now it's back tested. What else is it doing? You put up the Ichimoku cloud. All it's trying to do is just get closer to the Tenkan. Tenkan is the red line right there. It did have a bullish cross right around December of 2023. After a bullish cross happened, and after the price kind of back tested both the Tenkan and Kijun, it just went up, right? Tenkan is this red line right here. Red line is the leading line. It usually is like a period moving average that takes into account for the last 9 candles. And generally, when there's a bear market, it serves as resistance. And when it's a bull market, it serves as support, right? Support, 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 support. And now, price doesn't want to get too far away from Tenkan. What happens when price get too far from Tenkan? It either goes sideways, wait for the Tenkan to catch up, or it can go back down and get closer to the Tenkan before bullish continuation. What happened so far this month? Price went way above the Tenkan. Next month, corrected, getting closer to Tenkan over here. That's basically what it's doing. This is a bull trend, guys. I mean, like, can it be the top? Can price just like going down from here? Sure. Is there any confirmation that this is the top? No. Does it look like a parabolic top to you? Possibly. Can parabolic top keeps going higher and be more parabolic? Possibly. I don't know. I think my friend Danny's been doubting that MicroStrategy can go up to 5 figures. I won't count on that, but I'm also not surprised if it ends up doing that. I'm thinking more maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but I'm thinking maybe more like 5,000 is a possibility. I don't know. I mean, right now, another thing that you're seeing here too is pretty clear to me. Got rejected at 1.618, which is something that is very common for prices to do when they break out above the previous high. And they might find some resistance at some of these Fibonacci extension levels up here. 1.618 is a possible rejection zone. 2.618 is also a possible rejection zone. Got rejected from that. Back testing stuff underneath. There's a good chance I think we might end up closing the month right around this Fibonacci level over here, which is basically right around the last cycle high right here. There's a good chance we're going to end up closing the month right around there. And I would like it because it's closer to Tenkan. When it's closer to Tenkan, it means that we've found some pretty good footing. We're not way overextended, and we end up going up higher. We talked about the Tenkan before. It's getting close to it now. I think 1300 is a pretty decent buy area if you want to buy MicroStrategy. I am not, but this is a very, very fascinating stock to track. What other things are you looking at for MicroStrategy? What are the whales doing? Yeah, it did have like a little tiny thing over here, didn't it? It did look like there's the inflow is just not strong anymore over here, does it? Yeah, you worry about that? Are we topping? I don't know. Do I think we're topping? Probably not. Trend's your friend. Just had a bullish cross a few months ago. The Bollinger Band just started pointing up a few months ago. I doubt this is it. I think the last cycle was truncated a lot sooner because of fear for inflation, fear for a Fed. Otherwise, there would have been a good chance that you might end up going higher, but I think the wave was kind of a little bit truncated. I'm not too worried about it, but it's something to think about. The volume is just absolutely insane. And the sell volume is just like nothing. I mean, you can argue the same thing happened over here, but I just don't see this trend exhausting quite just yet. I mean, it just started. We'll see what happens though. Anyway, that was MicroStrategy. I can do a little bit of a weekly, kind of show you what I'm seeing here in a weekly bull trend. 20 above, 50 above 100. Right. Last time you have very, very nice separation over here. When things really start to get down underneath right here, you have a little bit of back test, fail back test, things like that. It still keep on lingering for quite some time before it really starts to go down. I don't know how it's going to react over here. I think this is still like mid-cycle, and it might be a little bit of a bias, but I really do see a little bit more equivalence like we're over here compared to like when we're over here. I really see a little bit more resemblance between these two areas over here. And part of the reason why I say that I think we're a little bit more closer to midway is this, and this is just a speculation. Over here, you're really talking about some pretty exhaustive trends over here. You're talking about having candles number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all closing outside the upper Bollinger Band. They're all way outside the upper Bollinger Band. This is way too far extended. This is something that is unnatural. And when you have something unnatural here, you're going to end up expending a lot of bullish energy. And it's going to have a hard time to really try to push up further. And this whole thing right here is just a little exhausted just based on candles number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So far, are we doing that? No. We're seeing a candle over here closing above the upper Bollinger Band, two in a row, have a correction down. So far, what are we doing? We're seeing candles number 1 and 2 closing above the upper Bollinger Band. So far, you have a candle kind of down below like that. Is this candle going to end up closing inside? Maybe. But it's in no way anything like this. Like, this is an insane monthly candle where it's just floating out in space. Like, this is a parabolic top right here. This is not as much of a parabolic top right here, even though it also looks like it's kind of out in space, looking kind of insane here. But like, this is an insane candle. This looked exhausted. It looks a big giant wick, and it didn't end up closing anywhere near above. We don't really have that situation going on here. I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, I'm done talking about MicroStrategy. Let's move on to something else. Coinbase. What's Coinbase doing? Coinbase doing a very, very similar thing, actually. Coinbase is back testing the upper Bollinger Band. It's not quite as bullish as MicroStrategy. Like, it didn't go like push above its previous high. The all-time high is here, when it IPO'd on the same month. And then the all-time high was like 430, right? It didn't really quite get there. It's hitting a little bit of resistance zone right around here. The top part of the zone is maybe like around 280. Bottom part of the zone is around like 220, 210, somewhere around there. And so far, it looks like we're kind of ranging around these two areas over here. It's kind of been just up, down again, right? And I really didn't expect us to really break above this zone immediately. I thought it was going to take another 1 to 3 months before we break above of it, especially since price is getting a little bit too far extended outside of the Bollinger Band. And because of the very significant price history over here, I think it's probably going to take some time to build some history, to build some friction and try to get above. Another thing too, if you look at the Ichimoku also tells you that things were a little bit overextended over here. We started out the month right around here, right? It's way far above the Tenkan in it. Tenkan flipped from resistance to support over here, and it's been kind of using a very, very nice kind of way to tap the price to go up higher. And when price just get a little bit way outside the Tenkan, the red line over here, sometimes you might end up getting some correction and trying to push it back down on Earth, right? Like here, way outside of Tenkan, in it, back on Earth, right? Push from Tenkan going up, drag the Tenkan up along with it. Too far outside of it, drag it down to Earth a little bit. It doesn't have to touch it all the way down. Like right now it's around 180, 177. I don't think it has to go down and tap it before going up higher. Just like I didn't think the price had to like tap it before going down lower, right? But it does make you wonder over here whether or not, if you really want like truly healthy price action, this should happen. You should get stuck around here at this volume shelf. You should spend about 1 to 3 months just going sideways, and you should get closer to the Tenkan, wait for Tenkan to go up, either sideways or go down and get a little bit closer to Tenkan. Right now is an acceptable range. I think that we're at a good spot. I think we're at the bottom of this volume shelf over here, the bottom of this range over here that you saw from like 2021. I think this is an acceptable area for it to be at, for it to potentially wait for Tenkan to just keep catching up, push it up higher. I think it will go up higher based on what I'm seeing. I think all of this seems to be an accumulation volume right here. Buy volume going up, sell volume going down, buy volume going up, sell volume pathetic, buy volume going up. I think there has been a lot of accumulation down here. And it's finally playing out. I don't think this bull trend is done yet. If you look at the Bollinger Band, 20-month moving average just started pointing out about 6 months ago. I don't think we're anywhere near close to it done yet. This really is not like a parabolic bull trend or anything like that by any means, because really it didn't end up having any like majority of candle closing above the upper Bollinger Band quite just yet. This is still a very well confined, or as Cantonese would say, 中規中矩. 中規中矩. It's very much regulated on its way up. It's slowly expanding a Bollinger Band up and down. It's slowly riding the upper Bollinger Band going up. This is probably a little bit of an attractive area to consider adding if you're into that kind of stuff here. Because again, you want to look at traders, they're trading the range. And this looks like there's a break into this volume shelf right here. And that's exactly what it's doing. All right, so that is the monthly. Let's look at the weekly here. Weekly is probably going to tell you so much. Weekly is going to basically tell you that 20-week moving average is probably pointing up. Does it have to touch it before going up higher? Not necessarily. It didn't touch it over here. Why does it have to touch it over here, right? But it's slowly catching up. If it does end up dropping down and backtest this level over here, which it could totally do as a backtest of this breakout over here, you can totally do that. It doesn't have to. Then you can find some pretty good support right here, the previous resistance zone, as well as finding support here at a rising 20-week moving average. It doesn't have to, though. I think Coinbase is a pretty decent spot, actually. Ichimoku Cloud, kind of getting slammed into a rising Tenkan here. The Tenkan is around like 222. This could actually potentially be a pretty good support because Tenkan is just pushing price up. This could potentially be a pretty decent support over here around 222.07. We'll see if it pans out. We'll see if the week end up closing above it. I think it probably will end up closing above it. Could it go down and test some of the possible, some of the lower levels? Possible. But I still think this probably looks more like a little bit of a range right here. Just like how it kind of ranged around here for quite some time. I think we're probably going to end up ranging over here for a little bit while longer before going up higher. That's what I'm seeing with Coinbase. And I also think that this down move over here is very weak because the volume over here is very weak. Right now it's only Tuesday. Could you end up having a little bit of higher volume candle? Sure. But the higher volume candle could end up being a wick a little bit higher, right? Anyway, just a quick update on MicroStrategy and Coinbase. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.